Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In last lecture, we have seen the overview of heat transfer. If you have not seen it, go and see it first, then only you will able to understand today's lecture. Video links are in the description box. Today, we will see about the conduction in liquid and gases and governing laws of heat transfer. So let's begin. Conduction in gases. Heat conduction in gases occurs due to randomness or called as molecular collision. This means that suppose take an example, there are number of molecules present over here and we transfer heat from it. What will happen? The molecules get heated and start moving. But where does the molecule moves? The direction of molecule. We have seen that in conduction in solids, the molecules move by free electron movement or lattice vibration because the molecules are congested over there. But here, the molecules are free to move in any direction. That is, molecules can randomly move here and there. That is why it is said that heat conduction in gas occurs due to randomness. Conduction in liquid. Heat conduction in liquid is somewhat similar to gas, but the intermolecular distance, what do you mean by intermolecular distance? The distance between two molecules. The distance between two molecules is intermolecular distance, is less in liquid as compared to gas. Suppose there are number of molecules. When we pass heat, the molecules get heated and transfer heat in much quicker way than gas do due to less molecular distance. Therefore, heat conduction in liquid is greater than heat conduction in gas. Governing law of heat transfer. Since we studied that there are three modes of heat transfer, so for each and every mode there is definite governing law which governs the mode of heat transfer. So for conduction, the governing law is Fourier law of heat conduction. For convection, the governing law is Newton's law of cooling, and for radiation, the governing law is Stephen-Boltzmann's law. So let's study it in detail. Fourier law of heat conduction. The fact of Fourier law is that it is the observed law, means it is not been derived from first or second law of thermodynamics. It is the observed law. The observation Fourier has done, on that basis Fourier law is based. Suppose this is a wall and we transfer heat Q to it and let A be the area of that wall. Now when will the heat will transfer to it? The heat will transfer when the temperature difference on both sides is different. Suppose this space has temperature T1 and this space has temperature T2. Now when T1 is greater than T2, then only the heat will transfer. If we said that T2 is greater than T1, so it is not possible because it will be the opposition of second law of thermodynamics. Second law of thermodynamics will not satisfy. Hence, heat transfer will occur only when T1 is greater than T2. So, Fourier has observed that heat transfer means Q. Q is directly proportional to its area and temperature difference. This means that if area increases, heat transfer increases, and temperature increases, heat transfer increases, and vice versa. Now, he also observed that thickness increases and heat transfer decreases. This is thickness L. If thickness increase, then heat transfer decrease. Hence, heat transfer is inversely proportional to thickness. That's how the Fourier law has came. So now, to remove the sign of proportionality, some constant may be added over it. That constant is K, and it is known as thermal conductivity. So now, let's see the physical significance of thermal conductivity. Suppose we have two walls, one of steel and other of plastic. We know the Fourier law that heat transfer is equal to K A T1 minus T2 upon L. So while keeping all the conditions same, that is area, temperature and thickness, but only change in its material, that is steel and plastic. And if we heat it, what will happen? Heat transfer in steel is more as compared to plastic, because we have seen in heat conduction video that steel is metal and plastic is non-metal, and heat transfer in metal is more compared to non-metal. So the heat transfer in steel is more due to high thermal conductivity. We can define thermal conductivity as ability of material to conduct heat. Similarly, take one more example of thermal conductivity. If you are sitting in an AC room and after 20 to 25 minutes you came out of that room, after 5 minutes your body temperature will be normal, but you touched your metallic watch, it will be still cool because of the thermal conductivity. We also have the mathematical definition of thermal conductivity. That is, thermal conductivity may be defined as amount of heat conducted per unit thickness when temperature difference of unit degree or unit Kelvin is maintained across the wall. Assumptions in Fourier's law. There are total 4 assumptions in Fourier's law. First is steady state heat conduction. Steady state heat conduction. So the steady state means the property with respect to time are constant. Suppose take a wall having temperature T1 and T2. T1 be the temperature 100 degrees Celsius and T2 be 60 degrees Celsius. The steady state means property with respect to time are constant. So in this example, temperature is the property. So temperature with respect to time is constant. Means here is 100 degree, so it will only be 100 degrees Celsius. It does not change after a minute or an hour. Similar for 60 degrees Celsius. Hence, temperature is not the function of time. Now suppose this is your control volume and the energy and mass of control volume is constant. That is, it is not increasing or decreasing. If we flow heat from T1 to T2, heat transfer through the control volume should be same. Then only we can say that it is steady state. Hence, we can say that heat is not the function of space. Now, the second assumption is one-dimensional heat conduction. Suppose this is your wall and it has 100 degrees Celsius in one phase and 60 degrees Celsius in another phase. So it is obvious that it will decrease from 100 to 60 degree due to heat flow. Heat is flowing due to temperature difference. But if we say that one-dimensional heat flow, it means that heat will flow in only x direction, not in y direction and z direction. Heat will not flow in y direction or z direction, only will flow in x direction. So we conclude that heat flow should be perpendicular to isothermal plane. Heat flow should be perpendicular to isothermal plane. That means plane in which temperature is same throughout. Now suppose heat flow should be in only x direction throughout till second plane, means this 100 degrees Celsius, if we flow heat from here to this 60 degrees Celsius plane, here the heat flow should be in only one direction, that is x direction. So when will it happen? When the heat flow is parallel to adiabatic plane. When the heat flow is parallel to adiabatic plane, then only heat flow is only be in one direction. The adiabatic plane means the plane in which heat transfer through the plane is zero. Third assumption of Fourier law is that material is homogeneous and isotropic. So what do you mean by homogeneous? Homogeneous means distribution of mass is uniform, and isotropic means property in all direction is same. Fourth assumption of Fourier law is no internal heat generation. No internal heat generation. Differential form of Fourier law. So now, suppose it is a cross section of a wall with temperature T1 and T2. With T1 will be 100 degrees Celsius and T2 will be 60 degrees Celsius. X direction represent temperature and Y direction represent thickness of the wall. So T1 temperature 100 degrees Celsius will come what here, and T2 60 degrees Celsius will come over somewhat little down. Now we will apply an elemental stick. The temperature of elemental stick will be T1, and it is obvious that heat flow is in decreasing direction. So here the temperature will be T plus dt, and thickness of the stick will be dx. Now here dt will be negative because heat transfer is in decreasing direction. So from Fourier law we know that Ka, T1 minus T2 and L. Here T1 minus T2 is dt and L is dx. So therefore Q is equal to Ka dt by dx. Due to dt is negative, final answer will be negative. This negative answer will represent that heat transfer is in wrong direction. But we know that the direction is correct from second law of thermodynamics. So to avoid this confusion, we will take minus over here to satisfy second law of thermodynamics.
So guys, that's all for today. For more such videos, please like, share and subscribe to our channel.